Okay, let's create some candy canes. So as usual, disconnect the node groups to clear out the workspace a bit. When creating candy canes, it's a good idea to think about how they are shaped. Looking at the candy cane from the side, we can see that the top is a half circle, while the bottom is just a straight line connected to the top. So let's use a circle as the base, specifically a curved circle. Add a transform node and rotate it by -90 degrees on the x-axis. Since we already have the top part of the candy cane, all we really need to do is turn the bottom part into a line going straight down. Add a set position node and a curve to mesh node. Converting the circle to a mesh just makes it easier to manipulate the vertices. By using a compare floats node and an index node, we can isolate the vertices that we want to move. If we look at the spreadsheet, we can see that vertices with an index of between 0 and 15 all have a negative C value, meaning they are at the bottom of the circle, and those are the vertices we want to affect. Connect the index node to the compare floats node and set it to less than with a value of 16, and then connect it to the selection socket of the set position node. Next, we need a combine XYZ node and a math node set to multiply. Connect the index node to the multiply node, and then connect that to the C socket of the combine XYZ node. Set the X value of the combine XYZ node to 1, and connect it to the position socket of the set position node. If we set the value of the multiply node to a negative value, we can adjust how tall the candy cane will be. Before we proceed, we need to remove this edge here that completes the original circle. We can do this with a delete geometry node set to edge. And again use an index node and a compare floats node to isolate which edge to delete. Set the compare floats node to equal and connect the index node. Set the value to 15 and connect it to the selection socket of the delete geometry node. Now we are ready to turn the geometry into something that looks more like an actual candy cane. Add a mesh to curve node followed by a curve to mesh node with fill caps enabled. We do this because the curve to mesh node has a profile curve input, which uses another curve to create a mesh. Add a curve circle and connect it to the profile curve, then adjust the radius to make the mesh thinner. Finally, add a transform node at the end and adjust the C and X translation until the bottom of the candy cane is near the origin of the scene. Now we can select the nodes and press Ctrl G to create a node group, and name it candy cane. We connect the previous geometry and connect the candy cane group to the join geometry node at the end to add it to the rest of the scene. With the transform node we can now scale it, rotate it, and position it in our scene. And if we want more, we can add a join geometry node and duplicate the candy cane group and transform node. When you are satisfied with the positioning, scaling and rotation of the candy canes, select them all and create another group called candy canes to keep the geometry nodes tree organized. Lastly, let's create a material for the candy canes. In the Materials tab, create a new material and name it candy cane. In the candy cane node group, add a set material node. And select the candy cane material in a dropdown. In the shading workspace, add a wave texture and set the direction to diagonal. Next, add a color ramp set to constant. Change the black color to a bright red and move it to about the halfway point in the color ramp. Change the scale of the wave texture to adjust the stripes. As a final touch, I will reduce the specular value along with the roughness value to make it a bit shinier. And that's it. Next time we will make a room so we can hang some decorations on the walls. See you then.